This girl stood on a twisted underground stage, forced to eliminate her own beloved sister. If you think this is just some generic, tragic anime setup, you are completely missing the truth here. The real madness is that she secretly held the ultimate trump card to flip the whole board right then. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you hit subscribe because this dark reality will break your mind. We are dropping straight into the Tokyo Underground in the year 2072, right into the Chaos Arena. It was an illegal fighting pit run by the villain Oboro, who basically treated human lives like cheap toys. Actually, wait, let me step back a bit to explain how our main girl, Sakura Igawa, ended up in this brutal mess. You see, most fans just look at Sakura as the cute younger sister, but her origin is genuinely quite dark. Born back in the year 2058, Sakura lost her mother Kiku to illness almost immediately after birth. Then, during the Igawa Revolt, her father Shuzen met his end, and a tragic event occurred within the clan. His life halted right by the hands of her own grandmother, Hattori Seishu, which is honestly completely insane. Raised by her older sister Asagi in Gosha village, Sakura was shielded from the early Kokawa massacre violence. But peace never lasts in this franchise, and the brutal reality of their ninja world was always creeping closer. By the year 2069, the ONT conflict finally concluded, and the two sisters moved directly to Tokyo. They relocated to the old Igawa residence, hoping for some normal life, but Asagi remained heavily frustrated. The actual masterminds behind the war, Nomad and the Vampire King Edwin Black, remained entirely untouched. I always find it crazy how the big bosses just walk away clean while the grunts suffer all the consequences. So what does Sakura do while attending a completely normal school? She secretly teaches herself how to fight. She wanted to be a real warrior like Asagi, awakening her own ninja art in the shadows without telling anyone. Imagine keeping a massive supernatural power completely hidden from the greatest ninja sister in the entire world. When she finally told Asagi about her goals, her sister felt uneasy but ultimately respected her bold choice. But then the Igawa elder, an old mentor, brought news that their old enemy Oboro had suddenly returned to town. This is where things escalate fast, and Sakura joins Asagi for a basic information-gathering mission in the city. They track down an orc shop owner named Baig, who had deep criminal connections operating right under the radar. They interrogated him aggressively, with Sakura actually overdoing her strikes just to impress her older sister. He cracked and revealed the Chaos Arena, an underground pit where Oboro currently ruled as the Twisted Madam. But before they could even plan a proper raid, a sudden tragedy struck and completely shattered their reality. Asagi and her boyfriend Kyousuke vanished into thin air, entirely captured by Oboro in a very brutal ambush. Oboro did something deeply messed up here, literally fusing herself with Kyousuke's body to gain his abilities. She gained horrific hypnotic powers, making a direct confrontation practically impossible for any normal fighter. Sakura had no clue about this fusion, but she knew she had to step up immediately to save her missing sister. She went straight back to Baig to extract the exact arena location, ready to risk everything she had left. Here is the craziest twist, though. The Igawa elder actually pushed her to go after them completely alone. Why? Because that old man was secretly working with Oboro the entire time, practically serving Sakura on a plate. I genuinely hate traitor characters like him. They always hide behind tradition while selling out their own family. Sakura stormed the compound and actually managed to defeat multiple armed guards using her raw combat abilities. She threw everything she had at the defenses, proving that her secret training was not just some childish game. But when she finally faced Oboro directly, the massive power gap became painfully obvious in a matter of seconds. Sakura was violently defeated and instantly captured, becoming just another helpless pawn in Oboro's dark scheme. Oboro only kept her around to blackmail Asagi, forcing the older sister to follow her extremely twisted rules.
They subjected Sakura to intense body modifications, brutally increasing her physical sensitivity to the maximum. She suffered heavy torment, taking the pain much harder than Asagi ever did, but her willpower never shattered. This is the micro-stakes moment right here. What will she sacrifice to survive the next agonizing 60 seconds? She could have used her secret shadow art to easily escape the facility on her own and save herself right there. But Sakura made a massive psychological choice, choosing to endure the nightmare instead of abandoning her sister. She swallowed her pride and hid her power, waiting to the perfect split second to break them both free together. To Oboro, Sakura was literally nothing but a useless tool, designed specifically to cause Asagi emotional damage. Both Edwin Black and Oboro looked down on her, treating her exactly like they treated the captured Kyousuke. But underestimating your enemy is the easiest way to lose everything, and they were about to learn that lesson. Oboro's grand plan was to force the two sisters onto the main stage and make them fight until one was eliminated. She promised that the true victor would be let go, primarily because Edwin Black was highly interested in Asagi. Oboro even stood right there with them on the arena stage, completely confident in her hypnotic control over them. Now picture this intense moment. The crowd is roaring, and the two sisters are forced to engage in mortal combat. But Sakura and Asagi knew each other too well, exchanging quick strikes that were secretly hidden communications. Their fierce clashes were just a highly calculated cover, allowing them to slowly close the distance toward Oboro. The tension here is absolutely insane. One wrong move and Oboro would instantly force them to end each other. At the exact perfect moment, Sakura executed her master plan, activating the shadow art she had hidden so long. She practically vanished into thin air, secretly jumping directly into Asagi's dark shadow without being noticed. Asagi immediately launched a massive rush toward Oboro, forcing the villain to halt the fierce attack just in time. Oboro thought she had blocked the main threat, completely unaware of the lethal danger lurking right below her feet.
Sakura suddenly burst out from the shadow, delivering a devastating strike that completely shattered the hypnosis. That precise disruption gave Asagi the perfect opening, allowing her to deliver the absolute finishing blow right then. They successfully brought the villain down, ending her reign of terror and breaking the heavy psychological chains. But remember, we are talking about a dark franchise, where clean victories simply do not exist in the real narrative. Because Oboro had used Kyousuke as her physical host, finishing her off meant his life halted right there as well. A truly tragic event occurred on that stage, leaving Asagi drowning in massive grief over losing her beloved partner. They won the battle, but the heavy emotional cost they paid makes you question if it was even a victory at all. Edwin Black, being the arrogant vampire king he is, actually allowed both of the exhausted sisters to escape alive. He viewed the whole deadly spectacle as pure entertainment, proving once again how untouchable the real bosses were. The Chaos Arena was ultimately raided by the authorities and Yatsu Murasaki shortly after that horrific night ended. But somehow, villains like Kyousuke still managed to slip away into the shadows to cause trouble another day. Both sisters returned to the quiet Gosha village, stepping back into the old Igawa estate to heal their deep trauma. But Sakura was no longer just the innocent younger sibling. She had walked through absolute hell and survived it. She eventually helped track down the corrupt Taimanin elder, directly eliminating him for selling them out to Oboro. Justice was finally served, though the betrayal from their own leader left a permanent scar on her entire worldview. Over time, Sakura evolved into a significantly stronger warrior, partnering closely with her friend Yatsu Murasaki. She genuinely viewed Murasaki as her best friend, fighting side by side through numerous dangerous operations together. The funny thing is, Murasaki was actually much more interested in Asagi and often treated Sakura quite harshly. But Sakura was honestly too oblivious to even notice the harshness, simply happy to have a reliable combat partner. Asagi rapidly climbed the organizational ranks, becoming a legendary figure, while Sakura built her own solid legacy. Both of them became extremely well known, entering the second grade of Gosha Academy as elite combat students. They faced the absolute worst of humanity, and still chose to keep pushing forward, carrying the heavy burden of duty. If you look at the raw data, Sakura's journey is honestly a masterclass in enduring unimaginable psychological stress. Most people would have completely broken down, but she used that sheer agony to forge herself into a perfect weapon. But honestly, I think Sakura never truly escaped that arena, leaving a part of her soul permanently trapped inside. I genuinely believe she hides her trauma behind a cheerful attitude just to keep her sister from feeling guilty. It makes you wonder if being a hero is really worth it, when the price is sacrificing your own internal peace forever. Maybe she just got tired of being everyone else's pawn and finally decided to rewrite her own tragic destiny instead. If you want to see me uncover more deeply disturbing hidden stories like this one, hit that subscribe button right now. Our next topic is going to be even darker, so make sure you stick around before you miss out on the actual real truth.